Oh, we finished Spring Festival. I'm so glad it's over. I don't even want to talk about it ever again.
It's not over yet.
Oh, bollocks. So apparently, China has not finished celebrating yet. That's because we've got Lantern Festival, which falls on the 15th day of the first lunar month, and in Chinese it's called Yuanxiao Festival. There's a funny story as to why this festival is called Yuanxiao Festival.
It's not funny at all.
There's a mildly interesting story as to why this festival is called Yuanxiao Festival. The first month of the lunar calendar is known as the Yuan month, and in ancient China, the night was referred to as Xiao. So when the first full moon rolls around, this night is accordingly known as Yuanxiao. Well, that doesn't really explain anything, actually, does it? So here's theory number one. The first theory behind the origins of this festival is that the emperors of China were worshipping the god of heaven. So, beginning with the very first emperor of China, Qin Shi Huang, they would each hold ceremonies throughout the night of the first full moon, asking this god for good weather for the year ahead. But theory number two is a bit more interesting. In the Han Dynasty, Dongfang Shuo was an advisor to the emperor. Now one day he heard somebody crying in an imperial garden. He went to see what was happening, and he found a little girl crying, getting ready to jump into a well and kill herself. So he said, "Oi, what are you doing?" The little girl, a maid called Yuanxiao, said she hadn't seen her parents since she started working in the temple, and if she couldn't pay respects to her parents, she'd rather die. So Dongfang Shuo said to her, "No, don't die. I'll sort it out." At this point, Dongfang Shuo, a respected individual within society, went around and started spreading a rumour that on the 15th day of the first lunar month, a fire would engulf the city. What a liar! He then told people that on the 13th day of that first lunar month, a fairy dressed in red would come around and she'd start to burn the city down, and the people should ask her for mercy. But in actual fact, that fairy was Yuanxiao in disguise, so she's a liar too! When Yuanxiao walked through the city, she gave everybody a proclamation from the god of fire and said this must be delivered to the emperor. The emperor read this, and naturally he asked Dongfang Shuo for some advice, and I promise this is exactly what he said. The god of fire likes to eat tangyuan, which are little sweet balls made from glutinous rice flour filled with all kinds of fillings. Anyway, that's what he said. Yuanxiao's pretty good at making tangyuan, aren't you? So let her make tangyuan, and you can tell everyone else to make tangyuan, and also tell everyone to hang red lanterns and light firecrackers, and then it'll look like the city's on fire, and we'll trick the god of fire. Does that sound okay? And the emperor said yes! He followed the plan, and at some point, for some reason, Yuanxiao's parents went to the palace and were reunited with her daughter, and because Yuanxiao made the best tangyuan, everybody decided to call this festival Yuanxiao Festival. Surely that's not true. I've been told to say that that might be true. Anyway, aside from hanging lanterns and eating tangyuan and lighting firecrackers, people also like to solve riddles during this festival, as these riddles were attached to the lanterns during the Tang Dynasty. Now, they often carried messages of good fortune. I've got one right in my pocket here. I took it down from a lantern earlier. Let's have a go and try and solve it. Right. You'll have a good year ahead of you, and every day you'll eat Beijing duck, as long as you're able to tell me a word that rhymes with luck.